It's a blessed morning. We are meeting under the grace of the Almighty God. Thank you so much that we are alive today. Brethren and citizens, welcome to Live with Chatufa. We are looking at issues that are happening in the nation, issues that are pertaining to our freedom, the political climate of things that are happening in the country, and we need to continue to look into them as we continue as prayer warriors and intercessors. We are praying that the nation must be delivered. The nation must see its freedom. And we are in the season of the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. This time around, things are happening in a different way. God is on the move. Right, God is on the move, seriously. So today I am going to be looking at what is happening in the social media. We are seeing Mnangagwa using propaganda to transfer blame for his failures to Nelson Chamisa. And this is a very sad and unfortunate incident that is happening in the nation. What is happening is, with the propaganda that is being spewed out on social media right now as we speak, is just beyond imagination. And why channels like this one are here is that we should be conscientizing the nation so that people are aware of what is happening. Nowadays, we need to be very, very careful of the information that we are getting out there. For social media is awash with information. Social media is awash with different versions of issues and incidences, situations and stories that are happening in the nation. But for those that are true change lovers, do not be deceived, because deception also is at its highest right now as we are speaking. So be careful who you hear, be careful who is speaking to you, be careful the information that you are getting. So before I enter into the story, I want to encourage us to subscribe to this channel, subscribe to with Chatufa, so we can continue to discuss issues here. We are going to be having more and more live shows on this very channel. We want to have as many people sharing in the information that we are having on the channel. So God bless you for doing that, for subscribing to the channel. And we want to enter straight into what is happening in the nation. As I was saying, that ZANU-PF is so seriously looking into propaganda, because that is the only option that they have for now. The option that they have now is just to cover up issues. It's all about cover up. So it is very, very sad to find that the extent to which they want to cover up in terms of the wrongs that they are doing is so alarming, to the point that now the country looks like, if care is not taken, people will be driven away from the truth, and people will start to see black as white and white as black, which is what the enemy would always want to achieve. So citizens, we must be very careful of what is happening out there. Let us be very, very careful of the information we are getting, because when you go, especially like on Twitter, for example, you'd find that the blames that are being placed upon the change champion Nelson Chamisa, you'd wonder and ask yourself, who is really, causing the problems that Zimbabwe is facing today? A man who is not on the seat of power looks like he's the man who is being blamed for almost everything that is happening, because there are people that the surrogates of ZANU-PF, propagandists of ZANU-PF, people that ZANU-PF is using and paying so that they come out in the public domain and begin to spew out as much hate speech, as much blame, and declaring that the change champion has done this, has done that, is wrong in this, is a poor leader, is a dictator, is a what. All these things that are happening are just diversionary tactics for the nation to be diverted from the real fundamental issues that are affecting the country right now. So I'm going to be putting in a tweet that I want to share with us. Exactly as I was speaking, we saw this happening, and Peter Mtasa actually has shared something very interesting, the very same thing that we are talking about here on his Twitter handle. And the issues that he touched here are definitely very true, and these are the issues that are affecting us as a nation. So here, Peter Gift Mtasa says, many souls are venting their anger at Nelson Chamisa. a visitor would think that this Nelson Chamisa is the country's president and responsible for, number one, demolitions of homes. Right now, we are experiencing homes being demolished in Zimbabwe, people being displaced from their homesteads, traditional, non-traditional homes, and people that have been born on places or on lands where they now even have their own children who are even getting married now are being displaced, and they are told that they are on lands that don't belong to them. You know, it is so painful. A country like Zimbabwe, a country that went to the liberation war, purporting to say the white colonialist government has been taking away land from the owners of the land, who are the black majority of Zimbabwe. But that very same liberation party that says it was going to war to fight the liberation war, to bring the land back to its people, fighting for the land of Zimbabwe, now is the same government that is now taking away that land again and giving it back to white people who are in shrewd and some funny business deals with the elites of ZANU-PF. This is unfortunate. It is painful. It is a bad thing that is really happening to the nation. The kind of leadership we are having up there, up the ladder there, they are not the right people that should be leading a progressive country. Zimbabwe will never be able to prosper when there is always disturbance in the country. ZANU-PF and Emmerson Mnangagwa, they do not want to see the country settled. They would always want to create imaginary problems to make sure that they divert the attention of the Zimbabwean people from the issues that they themselves are causing within the nation. ZANU-PF has failed in many things. And now they vent their anger on people that are defenseless. When you take away, burn homes, take away their crops, take away their animals, destroy their houses, it really doesn't augur well. You would wonder what kind of government, what kind of leaders would ever want to do that to their own people, no matter the differences, no matter the problems that could be having. As a leader, you cannot expect everyone to love you. As a leader, you cannot expect everyone to toe the same line. As a leader, knowing that you are leading a democratic nation, you must be ready to accept that there are some people who will never be in agreement with you. When it comes to elections, there will never be everyone voting for you. That will never happen. You will always have some people that disagree. So that is normal in any democratic country. So if ZANU-PF is venting their anger on people because they did not vote for them and they want to just punish them, causing the suffering of children. Children are being traumatized. Children are being seriously affected by what is happening here. You would find that people are becoming homeless. There's going to be crime. There's going to be, a lot of probably even diseases beginning to spread. And, there's going to be a lot of loss of life, and some people who are sick and ill right now, displaced from their homes. Just imagine what is happening to them when they no longer even have a home to stay. It is painful. So he continues to say, number two, 95% devaluation of the Zimbabwean dollar. The economy has really taught ZANU-PF a lesson that you can propagandize everything, you can rig the elections, but there's something that is very real. The economy is realistic. It is just proving to ZANU-PF how much they failed, and they have failed, and they continue to fail on their policies, on everything that they are doing. As they wake up from their homes, going to those offices, thinking and purporting that they are going to work, the sign that they are failing is seen in the outcome of the economy. The economy has just crashed. It has crumbled. The Zim dollar has crumbled. And the economy is biting hard on the citizens. And it is a sad development, really, to see such kind of lifestyle being led by a people who have a country that is bestowed by so much wealth in terms of minerals and even human resources. The country is actually a very rich country. Unfortunately, it is being led by the wrong people. The people that are in seats of power are not the right people that are supposed to be leading Zimbabwe. This is why Zimbabwe needs a new government. This is why Zimbabwe needs a new leadership. This is why we should fight hard to continue to demand that we need a democratically elected government for the people, by the people, not this rogue regime the coup regime that took power through arms and pretends to be Democrat. They are failing even to pretend even a little bit to be democratic. Number three, he speaks about the highest inflation in the world. Just imagine the inflation that is in the world. But look at Mnangagwa. All these are his failures. But when you look at the attacks that are coming against Nelson Chamisa, you'd ask yourself, what's happening? How come the blames of whatever is happening, the person who is lambasted most on Twitter, on social media, is actually the man who is not causing the sufferings and the problems? Those that are actually a part and parcel of ZANU-PF are busy hero worshipping Mnangagwa. Just a mere picture standing with some sheikh of the Arabian countries in Dubai there, that just standing with that individual and they shake hands. ZANU-PF takes that picture and they make so much noise about it as if it is some kind of picture from from Mars, like there is a great amazing event that has happened there, as if Zimbabwe all of a sudden has taken a twist and it is already becoming like Dubai. You see, some other, just meeting an individual and greeting the individual and having a photo taken, the same thing that happened at COP28, where people like Nick Mangwana and Donzam Soro, George Charamba were just hiding in corners, waiting for Mnangagwa to hijack some leaders who were walking along the corridor. Mnangagwa would be hiding by some corner. When he sees the French president passing by, he jumps to greet him. Then the Nick Mangwanas would start shooting photos and they are posting them back home and they are saying it's re-engagement. They've been discussing about re-engagement. Just imagine on the corridor, on the street of the corridor. It doesn't happen like that. We want to see progress in Zimbabwe. We don't want this propaganda. It's not working for ZANU-PF and they are wasting our time. They are wasting their own time. They are wasting the citizens of Zimbabwe's time. They are wasting time for development. Right now, Mnangagwa has seen quite a substantive development that is in Dubai, to the point that he ended up, even he himself, admitting that we are 1,000 years behind in terms of technology. He said it with his own mouth. And I'm going to be dealing with that video. I'm going to be talking about that at the main channel, Chatufa TV production, after 12. I'm going to be talking about that issue. So exactly, this is what is happening. So the blame that we see the Varakash and the ZANU-PF propagandists piling on the change champion, one would wonder what the man has done. They attacked the CCC, his party, he left the party and he went away. His quiet way is, but still, they still don't concentrate on that CCC. They are following again after him. So, which means it's a sign that they are not worried about the CCC, they are not worried about the MDC alliance. All they are worried about is the individual, who is Nelson Chamisa. This is what shows us that indeed all forces, when you see all forces of hell rising up against one man, it is a sign that, you know what, there is a man that God has chosen. You know, when you have a mission of God in your life, you will find all hell breaking loose. This is exactly what is happening. It's not normal to have all such forces, from the police, the army, the CIA, all fast, the war veterans, ZANU-PF, Achilons, and big wigs, Varakashis, and all the women, the villagers, and everybody's rising up against a single man who is not even on the seat of power. It is just a sign that there is something special about this man that he carries. This is why all the blame, this is why all the fights, this is why all this that we are seeing happening. But it was not going to help ZANU-PF in any way. It is actually going to be propelling and even uplifting the change champion to greater heights. They don't know that they are fueling his position by doing that. Number 4, poor salaries. Imagine, like the nurses right now, they just earned $300, and out of the $300, Mthuli Ncube has introduced the tax. The tax has taken the whole $100 away, and the nurses remained with $200. That is painful. The nurse, a professional individual in Zimbabwe, who is earning like a maid in South Africa. It's painful. It's painful. And this is the situation that the country is in. But look at where the blame is taken. The blame is taken to the man who is not even responsible for all this. And every day it's a singing from morning to sunset. The Avarakashis who are just singing against Chamisa and turning a blind eye to the right, to the real man who is on the seat of power and the one who is causing all the suffering that the Zimbabwean people are experiencing. Look at the looting. Right now, there's a lot that has been unveiled, that there is a lot of corruption that is happening right in the office of Emmerson Mnangagwa. There are people that are going around creating crimes, committing fraud, committing some kind of, intelligence theft using the name of Mnangagwa, using his office. And I can assure you that it's not that he does not know. He knows exactly what is happening. But when you know thuggery, when you see thuggery and thievery happening right in the office, in the highest office of the land, then the whole nation is condemned. The whole nation is crumbled. This is the situation. And Mnangagwa is looking at this happening because he can't rebuke his own people. He can't, put a leash on his own dogs. So that situation is a situation where the country is now on free fall. Nothing and nobody is in control of anything. And that, as a situation, will never help us in any way. So this is the sad situation that we are seeing our country drifting into. And yet, many, many people out there are busy venting their anger on the wrong person. We need to really be very realistic. We need people to really understand what is happening in the nation, who is causing what, who is to blame for what is happening, so that people would know the truth. So if we don't stand up as people to defend our leaders for change, we will continue to see this kind of treatment happening to our leaders. And we are not going to be allowing that to happen, because we know that exactly what is happening is it's propaganda. It's people that are playing tricks and games to try to protect their positions, to try and, blame somebody else for something that they themselves know they are causing. So we are not going to be, cheated by ZANU-PF as they continue to do what they are doing. So the propaganda, the level of propaganda, like I'm saying, it has reached alarming levels right now, and the nation needs to be aware. They need to be aware. Let's not allow propaganda. Let's not allow the news, ZBC, the Star FM, whatever, those other surrogate radios of ZANU-PF. We must be careful of the information that they are disseminating to the country, because they know what they are doing. They are busy propagating lies because they know what they are doing. They are busy making sure that they want to put all the mud on the leaders, on the true leaders of Zimbabwe, who are fighting for a real change in Zimbabwe. But it's not happening, because the people that are working with the change champion, like, for example, in the CCC, we've experienced almost everyone rotten. Only a few people have proven that indeed they are true cadres of change, not people that are coming to feed their bellies. And it is very unfortunate when we continue to see our nation, disintegrating the way it is. When we have the highest inflation in the world, it is painful to be watching that happening, and yet the whole country is riding on a pedestal of lies. So I want to just put some comments here. Poshi Angube says, I can feel the heavy heart you are having as you speak. Praying for you, my brother, and praying for our beautiful country, that God remembers us. Definitely. Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you, Sister Poshi. Exactly what you are saying. It's painful in our hearts when we see that the devil is creating problems. The devil is creating all his dark acts, and he comes and he wants to blame it on the children of light. And the nation looks like it is agreeing to it. And many, many people are looking like they are believing it. So we are encouraging the people that are true meaning citizens of Zimbabweans. We are speaking to all those that really need true change in Zimbabwe, to be careful of the media houses, to be careful of the information that is being disseminated as news today on social media or wherever it is, newspapers and the like. Be careful, because you can end up being hoodwinked. You can end up, being derailed. And we are not going to allow that to happen, because we understand the enemy that we are dealing with. ZANU-PF are just tricksters. They are all playing games with our lives, and we need to continue making sure that they don't continue to do that. Temba Maposa says they must leave out Chamisa Nelson. He has clean hands. ZANU-PF must accept their mess in Zimbabwe. Poverty, disease, underdevelopment, and dying are as a result of ZANU-PF. Propaganda doesn't work. Thank you very much, my brother. Indeed, this is the truth that you are saying here. Propaganda will not work. And instead, the problem with propaganda is you are lying to yourself, number one, and you are also lying to the people that you are speaking with. But the truth will remain true. Truth will never change its color because somebody has used very enticing words to try and cover up for their tricks. It will not work. So what is needed in the country is the country needs leaders that are accountable, people that are ready to stand for what is true, people that know exactly that, what we need to do as a nation is to make sure that we are in a position where the wrongs that have been done must be looked into, corrected without thinking twice. We just have to agree as a nation to say what is right and what is wrong is wrong. But there are people who want to make right wrong and wrong right. And those are the people that are in leadership in Zimbabwe. And that is a sign that our country is under a spell of darkness. So we are not going to be allowing that. So as intercessors, all we are saying is, may we continue to stand praying for the country. The change champion needs our prayers. We need to continue praying and declaring the word of the living God, that the Lord continues to put a hedge of fire around his servant. And I am telling you, we are in a season where intercessors must stand their ground, that citizens of Zimbabwe must continue to stand and pray and declare the word of God, because the move is on. God is already on the move and progress is already happening. You can see all these things that are happening. Who knew that at one point before the end of this year, we could have Chris Mnangagwa not being spoken about anymore? He's already history. I know right now I could have put Mnangagwa there as one on the thumbnail as one person who is amongst the propagandists, but already he's not there. Right for this video, when I was thinking of the propagandists that ZANU-PF is using, the first person as usual who came into my mind was Chris Mnangagwa, only to remind myself that, oh, by the way, Chris Mnangagwa is now licking his wounds somewhere far in some corner, some dark, cold corner. So this is what is happening. So for those people that are lying to themselves, ZANU-PF are lying to themselves, they think that what has happened to Chris Mnangagwa is also going to happen to everyone. So it's just a matter of time. So this is the move of God. This is proof that God is in it and God is on the move. So let us continue in prayer, intercessors. Let us continue to declare the word, because the freedom of the Zimbabwean people is here. And we are not going to allow the enemy to continue deceiving us. We are standing for the truth. We are standing by the truth, and we will hold on to the truth until victory is certain. So till we shall meet again, I am going to be signing out for now. We are going to be meeting on the main channel, Chatufa Television Production, where we are going to be having a story that is very, very, very important. So let us meet there at after 12. I shall be putting the thumbnail for the time of that show. So till we shall meet again, God bless you and God bless Zimbabwe.